I quit a pretty comfortable job, making a really good income, good benefits, all those things. And in this video, I want to share with you kind of what led to that and why I did it. And I think it's something that you can take a lot from as far as maybe where you're at in your life and your situation. And maybe you'll decide that you want to quit your job too, which for some people, I think maybe you should. But every person's gonna be a little different, and what I give you, I think, will give you a better understanding of where you sit on that side of the fence. You know, do you wanna quit your job or do you wanna keep doing what you're doing? So, when I was working at this job, I basically was working, you know, it's like a 9-to-5 office type job, pretty decent, you know, on that side of things. You know, you don't have to go out into the field, you know, and do more manual physical labor and things like that. It was marketing related, so I like that side of things. I'm interested in marketing and I enjoy that kind of thing. And I was making pretty good money, you know, benefits were there, all that stuff, right? So I was like, why quit that? And it came back to a couple of reasons. One of the first things that I really realized was it wasn't like, I like marketing, right? I like doing marketing and learning and all that, but I felt kind of confined and restrained to just one industry with that, which I didn't like. I wanted to be able to branch off, number one, and do marketing for different types of things, which is where kind of Inspire came from today. But before I even did that, I started to get Handles Basketball, and that's what I quit my job for, was a basketball training business, which was based online through marketing with YouTube videos and selling programs and things like that. And what really initially was like the spark that, you know, kind of gave me the idea to start that business, which allowed me to eventually quit, was that basketball was something that I was really passionate about. So even though it was still, you know, stuck to one industry, it was something I was more passionate about. It's something that really fulfilled me and gave me like excitement to get up in the morning, right? And I get to do basketball for a job, right? It was just like the greatest feeling in the world once I finally did quit my job and go full time. And just the idea of it before I quit, like, just drove me like crazy. Like, it's like, it'd just be cool if I could just, you know, make a living from basketball videos, you know, put more effort and time into YouTube videos, put more videos out, help more people, help more players, and basically be able to wake up every morning and know that, you know, basketball is my 9-to-5. Once I did it, it was 100% worth it. And here's why. Every morning when I woke up, it wasn't just about like knowing that I had basketball as a job. There was all the other little things that went with it. First of all, just being in charge of a company, whether how small it is so exhilarating, exciting, and for me, and I think for a lot of people, you know, to not have, number one, not have the boss to answer to. Number two, being able to wake up in the morning, you know, for the type of job I had, I could wear t-shirts and gym shorts. And for all anyone knows, I could be working naked all day. And to have that kind of freedom was super, you know, empowering, the idea of having it before I quit. But on top of that, just to know like I'm in charge of a company where I can decide what the products are, what the services are, what's the message, what's the branding, what's the overall message I'm sending out into the world, what's the value I'm gonna provide people. Like, to be able to decide that, to make those decisions, to me was empowering, exhilarating, to be able to experiment with different marketing tactics, different product strategies, and see what works, see what doesn't, learn more and apply it, and see that immediate impact. And with that, I think the other part is being able to see that impact more fully. And what I mean by that is, like, when you're running your own business and you make a good decision that helps grow the company, you don't get a 50 cent an hour raise or a pat on the back. You could potentially see double the income, triple the income. Like, it's happened in my business many times over. And then one of the other big things is like just knowing that I would have flexibility of a schedule, right? So when you have your own company, like the idea of having a YouTube-based business was like surreal, the idea of it, before I went full-time. But the idea of being able to like do what I want when I want, get up when I want, you know, sleep as late as I want. If I want to work at night, I can work at night. I can work in the morning. If I want to take a break in the middle of the day, I can do that. Like, to have that freedom and just working from home on top of that, like, all those things to me just seemed kind of surreal, would be awesome. And at the time, I didn't think was actually possible for me. And then the idea though just kept driving me, like, to like, how can I figure out to make at least at some level basketball my, you know, my income, not even necessarily having my own business. Before I, you know, realized YouTube could be at the rate I already had my channel growing and the amount of views I was getting, that it could be a business. I didn't realize that, but I was willing to pretty much, you know, have anything basketball related at the time. And, you know, I was interested in marketing, so that obviously helped get Handles Basketball to the point where I could make a full-time income with it. But having that flexibility of schedule was another thing that really drove me with it. And then on top of that, since I enjoyed basketball, I enjoyed marketing, the idea to me of just being able to really dive deep into marketing, getting a better understanding of marketing, sales, online business, being able to really dive deep into knowing more about basketball, skills training, how the human body works, and all these things that kind of fascinated me. The idea of being able to dedicate my life to that, or at least the majority of my time to it, because at this point I'm focusing a little more towards Inspire and the marketing side of things. But at the time, I wanted to just go deep into basketball, and I was able to do that. I did that a ton. I feel like I know all the ins and outs of basketball skills training, especially when it comes to ball handling, which is what Get Handles Basketball is about. And I think one of the bigger things for me too was just knowing that I was doing marketing for this company I was working for, and also on the side I was helping a couple other startups with marketing with their businesses. And I couldn't help but just keep thinking to myself, I'm putting all this time into marketing these businesses and helping them grow, getting more, customers, leads, making more sales with their existing customers, all that stuff, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm being a major driver of what's growing these businesses, but at the same time, I'm only getting a small percentage of what the company makes. Now I understand there's moving parts, there's other bills that have to be paid for, but at the end of the day, the person that owns the company is gonna take the lion's share of the revenue earned, right? So for me, it was the idea of putting in that time and someone else making more of it. I don't want to say it made me mad, but it was just why would I not put in this time and then get maybe most or all of the income, which is pretty much the situation now. I have certain things that have to be paid for, services, and I have a few, people that I have helped me out with the company, but for the most part, most of it I get to keep because I, built the business. I took the time to promote it and make the products, make the services, right? The digital programs that I offer, the camps, all that stuff. And because I'm the owner, I'm able to keep most of that, right? So the marketing efforts I'm putting in, I'm able to see more of the percentage of that, right? It's not like I'm putting in all this effort to grow this business and then I just get a small percentage, right? It has a much bigger direct impact on me. And then also I was just realizing how business and marketing was changing. Realizing that, social media and YouTube and online sales was the way of the future, or at least a much bigger part of the future, right? Amazon is growing, YouTube is growing, Facebook marketing was becoming more of a thing at the time. And looking at all those things and seeing how the landscape of how business is changing, I realized there's a huge opportunity that if I could go all in while it's rising, before it peaks or whatever, before it's everyone's doing it, I could get ahead of the curve. And I saw in that opportunity that I could ride that wave up, right? And with that, I was starting to realize that there's opportunities to make a business from, so many different things that anyone, you could make a business. And that's what this channel is all about, is telling you that, hey, you can start a YouTube channel on pretty much anything. You can build a business around pretty much anything. You can grow a Facebook following around pretty much anything and take what your passion is and make it a living. And I was realizing this, and I was like, you know what? It's foolish at this point to not do that. Why not do something that you love on a daily basis when it is so much more possible? I knew there was people out there doing it because it wasn't as common then as it is now. And I said to myself, how can I make this happen, right? And I was willing to stick with it. And it was once I got a business coach that showed me kind of the path as far as how to take the following I built on YouTube and showed me how to monetize it and how to turn it into better revenue, not just ad revenue that won't really pay the bills for most people. It was once I did that I was like, okay, I've got a plan in place and I'm gonna quit my job. Now, you may not know this, but I quit my job before I'd even made a cent with the business plan my business coach had given me. I was like, how am I gonna, how's this gonna work? Is this gonna make enough to pay the bills? And my boss at my job at the time had offered me a promotion. And it was basically for a new position he was creating for the company. And I said to him, I don't think I could take this job, and get this started knowing that I'm gonna quit. And I put my 2 weeks in then and there, not even making a cent with the plan I put in place for my business coach. Lucky for me, it worked out. But all those factors and knowing I had a good plan in place and knowing that I knew how to grow the YouTube channel, that is what was enough for me to say, you know what, let's just do this. Let's pull the trigger and give it a shot and see what happens. And if it doesn't work, I'll get a part-time job in the meantime until I can get to the point where I can make full-time income with my basketball skills training business. So I think for you, if you're watching this and any of those things I talked about earlier resonated as far as the freedom of time, the flexibility, doing what you love, if you feel like you can be a self-starter and go out and get after it on a daily basis and do what it takes to get better. I think with that being said, you do need to quit your job. Maybe not right now. You know, figure out, get things rolling, figure out what it is you want to do, get your plan in place. If you do have your plan in place, if you've got a following, especially if you've got a following, you are not far from being able to quit your job. Maybe you could do it within a couple weeks, and I'm not joking if you've got a following online. Now, if you don't really know where to get started with getting your product and service off the ground, you know, doing a digital product or service, or just any types of offers, or if you like don't really know how to grow your following with YouTube, maybe, you know, obviously if you're watching this, you're considering doing it, but you don't really know where to go with it and how to reliably grow it. Down in the description down below, I'll also have it pinned in the comments. I'm gonna have a link for you. If you go to that page and pop in your email, I will send you emails. First, there's a series that will basically walk you through some of the biggest tools, tips, tactics, strategies that I've learned to grow my YouTube channel, and then also to build a business online. Those things can all be applied for offline business as well. And then I'll also send you emails anytime I have something new that you need to know about that can help you grow your business. It's all like really super valuable information, things that changed my life, have the power to do the same for you. So if you're interested, check that out in the description down below, and I'll also have it again in the comments. And if you want to learn how to go full-time on YouTube 5 times faster, check out this video right here. You're gonna love that YouTube video. It'll help you a ton. Subscribe and click the bell icon to catch the newest videos, and I'll talk to you in that email series and see you in this video next.